Hi there and welcome to this video, which is going to be just a little tiny little update about the Nikon D850. I'm so sorry I haven't created any other videos at the moment. I'm absolutely up to my neck in it in finishing my latest book. Now, this is something I've been working hardcore on for the last 2 or 3 weeks. I've been working on this book for the first design was probably created about 2 or 3 years ago, and I've been photographing this subject for 25 years, so it's a very long time in the making, and I can't wait for it to be finished. Right now we're going through the final touches, which is things like naming the images, final layout, getting all the files ready, going from the RGB space into the print ready space, all of that technical stuff that you think is easy, but it actually takes forever. Getting all the correct printing profiles, oh my goodness, final editing, you know, all that stuff, making sure you've got barcodes, oh, it goes on forever. Making books is tough. I should probably make a video about making books next time. Anyhow, back to the D850. Now, last week I happened to do 2 commercial photography shoots, one for Melbourne Airport and one for the fashion label Burberry. And in both cases I was able to use the Nikon D850. Now, I hadn't had a chance, because I'm so busy finishing this book, I hadn't had a chance to touch the camera, familiarise myself with the camera, do hardly anything with the camera before heading out. But I had faith that the Nikon D850 would behave a lot like the D810, and it did, plus more. So let me just talk about that for just a sec. So what were some of the most amazing parts of working with the D850 last week? So firstly, the handling, the feel, the prism. So holding onto that bigger handle, it does actually feel better. I've got pretty big hands, and it makes it feel more secure and more, I don't know, more like a pro tool in your hand. Then that prism, I love looking through that prism. It's bigger, it's clearer, it's brighter. It actually does make a difference. Fantastic. And then I noticed this thing down the bottom when I was shooting under fluoro lights. This little LCD was coming up in the bottom right hand corner of the frame saying flicker. Now, I've never seen anyone talk about this, but there seems to be a feature in the camera where it can detect flickering. So that's absolutely amazing, and there it was written at the bottom. I am one of those people who does actually use a manual, and read it. Jump into bed, have a good read, then you learn about those sorts of things. So yeah, it just feels more pro in the hand, more pro to the eye. Then that focusing system. Not only does it focus quicker, not only is it super fast in getting focus from one focal distance to another, but it's super fast in deciding what it should be. So those 2 things together makes this focus system rock solid, and it feels so amazing and so pro and so awesome. It makes me cry. I love it. I love it. I'm so happy we've come to this place. And one other thing was, I love the touch screen. I've used both the touch part and the tilt part in the field with a client. Absolutely fantastic. The client was able to interact with the camera by looking through the photos and zooming in and all that sort of stuff. And so that's a great feature to be able to have, and it makes the client more interactive with what you're doing. Then maybe the biggest thing that everybody continues to be interested in is dynamic range. I'm not using my normal workflow. I'm probably one of about 4 people left on the planet who's still using Apple's Aperture. I'm sorry. I loved its workflow. I thought it was the business back in 2006 when it came out, and I thought it continued to be, and I've never had to look. I did look at Lightroom probably 3 or 4 years ago when Aperture's, Apple announced they were ceasing development on it, but I wasn't excited by it. It didn't seem better, it didn't seem easier. Neither of those things, so I stuck with it. But now, with the Nikon D850, it could well be that Aperture does not support that camera anymore, and I will have to change. We will see. We may well find out when macOS High Sierra comes out in a few days' time. Anyhow, because I'm not using my normal workflow, it's not 100% clear to me exactly what I'm looking at, because I'm using Photoshop to work on the RAW files, not aperture. And they do things a little bit differently. But first impressions are, it is on par with the Nikon D810. It's certainly not worse. So really, this is an amazing camera. What have we got? We've got, it's better to hold, it's better to look through, it's giving you more information. The focus system is outstanding, world leading, love it, amazing. The files appear to be just as good as the D810, which is an absolute class leader in digital 35mm SLR. So we're kicking goals there. And of course now it shoots 4K, which is what we're shooting on now. Probably not that important considering it's just my head, but 4K for the very first time. And it's full frame, so you get the use of your lenses, all your beautiful different lenses. So far, what lenses have I used with the camera? I've used the 14 to 24 2.8, the 24 to 70 2.8, the 70 to 200 2.8, the 24mm tilt shift, and the 50mm 1.4. I think that's all the lenses I've used so far. And they've all worked like a dream. Of course, as they should. So if you have a Nikon D850 on order, you're going to be blown away. Even if you own a Nikon D810, this is a significant improvement. I can feel the difference, I can see the difference. And there's all these extra features like the tilting screen, the touching screen, the faster focus, faster shutter speed. Not that important to what I do, but still, it's good to have it there if you ever need it. And I do sometimes need it. These are all great improvements. If you've got anything less than a D810, your mind is going to be blown with this camera. It pretty much does everything. Anyway, this was just a quick update because I had to use the camera for real, for work. I'm impressed, I'm excited. I can't wait to be using it in my normal workflow or whatever new workflow I work out so I can push through the files more quickly than I did having to open everything kind of one at a time in Photoshop, which isn't that much fun. And if you like this video, you like it. And if you don't, well, don't. Subscribe too. I will be making a much more comprehensive look at this camera, how its dynamic range is working, and taking it out into the field, doing some of my landscape photography night and day, so we can see what it's really looking like and feeling like. It's very good to see you. I look forward to seeing you again next time. Take it easy.